Commercial baked goods such as pastries, donuts, muffins, cakes, and sweet rolls are commonly found in coffee shops, supermarkets, and convenience stores. Their appeal lies in their sweetness, soft texture, and visual presentation, often enhanced with glazes, icing, and fillings. But despite their popularity as quick breakfast items or indulgent snacks, these foods are among the most nutritionally harmful when consumed regularly. They are typically made with a combination of refined white flour, large amounts of added sugar, hydrogenated oils or trans fats, and artificial preservatives, ingredients that, together, can accelerate the development of chronic diseases and cause significant harm to metabolic health. One of the core issues with commercial baked goods is their reliance on refined flour. Unlike whole grains, refined white flour has been stripped of its bran and germ, where most of the fiber, vitamins, and minerals reside, leaving behind a rapidly digestible starch that spikes blood sugar almost immediately after consumption. These rapid glucose surges cause the pancreas to release large amounts of insulin to bring blood sugar back down. Over time, this process wears down insulin sensitivity, promoting insulin resistance, a key risk factor for type 2 diabetes and metabolic syndrome. Repeated blood sugar spikes also contribute to fat storage, especially in the abdominal region, further increasing the risk of obesity and heart disease. The high sugar content in commercial baked goods compounds these dangers. These products often contain both natural sugars and high fructose corn syrup to maximize sweetness, shelf stability, and customer appeal. Excessive sugar intake is strongly associated with weight gain, fatty liver disease, elevated triglyceride levels, and increased inflammation. Moreover, high sugar consumption triggers reward pathways in the brain similar to those activated by addictive substances, encouraging repeat consumption and leading to cravings that override natural hunger cues. As a result, people often consume these foods in larger quantities than they realize, particularly when paired with sugary beverages like coffee drinks or soda, which further intensifies the insulin load. Perhaps most concerning of all is the presence of trans fats, either listed as partially hydrogenated oils or present in trace amounts from industrial baking processes. Trans fats are known to be highly inflammatory and cardiotoxic. They increase LDL cholesterol while simultaneously decreasing HDL cholesterol, creating an ideal environment for plaque formation in the arteries. Chronic intake of even small amounts of trans fats has been conclusively linked to a significantly higher risk of coronary artery disease, heart attack, and stroke. Despite increasing regulations in some countries, trans fats are still present in many commercial baked goods due to lax labeling rules that allow products containing less than 0.5 grams per serving to claim 0 grams trans fat on the packaging. This means that even foods labeled as free of trans fats may contribute dangerous amounts when consumed in typical portions. Inflammation is a key mechanism behind many of the long-term health risks associated with commercial baked goods. The combined effect of refined carbohydrates, sugars, and trans fats promotes chronic, low-grade inflammation throughout the body. This type of inflammation plays a central role in the development of not just cardiovascular disease and diabetes, but also cancer, Alzheimer's disease, autoimmune disorders, and accelerated aging. Inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein, CRP, tend to be elevated in individuals with diets high in processed baked goods, indicating systemic stress on organs, blood vessels, and cellular systems. Moreover, these foods are extremely energy-dense yet nutrient-poor. They often contain negligible amounts of fiber, protein, vitamins, or minerals, meaning they offer little in terms of nourishment despite their high caloric value. This lack of nutrient density contributes to a phenomenon known as hidden hunger, where people consume sufficient or even excessive calories but remain deficient in essential nutrients. Over time, this can lead to fatigue, poor immune function, mood disturbances, and greater vulnerability to illness and infection. Another major concern is the frequent use of chemical preservatives, colorings, and artificial flavorings in mass-produced baked goods. Additives like butylated hydroxyanisole, BHA, propylene glycol, and synthetic food dyes may help preserve freshness or enhance visual appeal, but their long-term safety is often controversial, particularly in children and individuals with sensitivities. Some of these compounds have been linked to endocrine disruption, behavioral issues, and possible carcinogenic effects in animal studies. The cumulative impact of ingesting small amounts of these chemicals daily, over months or years, remains an area of active concern among health experts. Commercial baked goods also encourage poor dietary patterns. Consuming a muffin or donut for breakfast provides a quick sugar and fat hit, but leaves the body unsatisfied and often hungrier just a few hours later due to the lack of sustained energy. This encourages frequent snacking or additional meals, which can lead to a vicious cycle of overeating. Furthermore, these foods tend to crowd out healthier choices, like oats, whole grains, fruits, and protein-rich breakfasts, reducing opportunities for fiber intake and antioxidant consumption, both of which are protective against disease. In younger populations, the regular consumption of commercial baked goods can have lasting effects on metabolism, growth, and long-term health habits. For children and adolescents, breakfast pastries and snack cakes can quickly become preferred foods, especially when paired with sugary drinks or eaten in place of more nourishing meals. This sets the stage for early development of insulin resistance, unhealthy weight gain, poor concentration in school, and increased risk of developing type 2 diabetes before adulthood. The addictive nature of sweet, fatty, processed foods only reinforces this pattern, making it harder to adopt healthier habits later in life. In conclusion, while commercial baked goods may be convenient and enjoyable in the moment, their long-term health consequences are deeply concerning. Made with a toxic combination of refined grains, excessive sugar, unhealthy fats, and artificial additives, these foods contribute to a range of chronic diseases that are entirely preventable through better dietary choices. Regular consumption promotes inflammation, insulin resistance, obesity, cardiovascular damage, and nutrient deficiencies, all of which undermine health and longevity. Avoiding these products or reserving them for rare, mindful indulgences can dramatically reduce your risk of disease and improve overall well-being. Replacing them with whole food alternatives, like homemade baked goods using whole grains and natural sweeteners, can offer the satisfaction of a treat without the toxic burden.